why can't I hear it now? Oh, that might be why. Alright, time to share. All looks good. Right, hello everyone. I'm just trying to set up, and the chat is not here. That's disappointing. Why is that? Why did that happen? I lost the chat. I'm not sure there's a really obvious way that I can get it back. Yeah, no, I can't make it back. That's really annoying. I'm not sure how to fix this, unfortunately. I can get up the chat just by going to YouTube or whatever, but well, I guess I have to do that. What a shame. So I will. Hey, Jin. Right. It looks like I'm going to have the stream playing in the background so I can actually just see the chat. That's a bit annoying, but that's okay. I can live with that. Okay, but hopefully you aren't hearing that. You shouldn't be able to hear that. So, right. Okay, it's going. Time to start. So, to explain to, I think June and Dad are both here. Hi, June. Dad. June is the person I work with in my startup at the moment. I met him 2 years ago now at a cryptocurrency set of lectures, and now we're working on our medical venture, which is cool. And Dad is my dad, June. So, anyway, yeah, the idea of this is I started doing Friday evening streams just as a place to bookmark, if you like, earmark some time to do some music, and I've ended up enjoying that a lot. The streaming thing is kind of like I do it because I can, and also, you know, they get archived on my YouTube channel, so if I have an idea and I think it's cool, then I can go back to it and see what happens. So I'm using a program called Reaper. This is what this is, and I've set everything up, and I'm going to see how it goes. What you won't be able to see is that I've got a set of foot pedals, so I'm able to play with my feet. I've got a keyboard, a piano. That's supposed to be on the pedals. Whoops. What's going on there? That went completely wrong. Oh no. Oh, I know what happened. Whoops. I know what happened. I was supposed to stop playing that before I moved it off, so I'm going to have to put it back. Okay, that's gone now. Oh, not quite. There we go. Right, back to the pedals. So I've got pedals set up. I've just been playing about with random sounds to put on them. And so on and so on. So I've got the keyboard set up with something like an ethereal sort of sound, and on the other keyboard I've got my favourite synth that I found. I love the sound of it. And I've got my friend Dave joining. Dave will be joining at about half an hour's time, so I'm just keeping an eye on things. Dave is an ex-bandmate of mine. I say ex-bandmate, I mean he's still in the band, we just haven't played for a while because of lockdown and everything else. So I guess current bandmate, we're just waiting for the opportunity to get back together and play again. And yeah, let's see what happens there. Anyway, I need to go back to the YouTube thing. Oh, Dave just messaged me. Let's see what he said. Right. Okay. So, yeah, basically, so the setup I've got here is the foot pedals. You have to hold them to sustain them. I've got a pedal for this piano, and I've got another pedal for this. But I've kind of got they're both underneath my left foot because I can't quite reach on the right hand side. So it's difficult. It's a bit of a ballet and a dancer coordination, and I'm not a particularly good pianist. So it's just fun. It's just fun to play about with this stuff. But I had a lot of fun playing with orchestra, so I might set up that. This was just that I had some ideas later. I've also got my guitar set up as well. So let's set up orchestra. You can't see the price down over there, so I'll go over here. Right. This I've got set up on my guitar. I might end up doing that a bit later. But I had a lot of fun playing about with guitar. Oh man, it's a lot of fun. I'm just going to check you can hear me back with guitar. Yep, you can. Good. So, right. And now I'm going to go ahead and set up for orchestra. Dave is also a classical composer, so he's very familiar with that sort of world as well. I don't know if we ever actually played classical music together. I played his compositions, but I don't think we've ever actually played classical music together. It's just funny that life works out that way. So, I'm looking for this, and put it over there. This one I'm going to set up. And my favourite patch was when I set up on the feet. I had double bass. Oh yeah, I need to transpose this back. Right. Feet I have double bass going, and I also had bass trombone going, and I also had tuba going, and I could have trans trombone, but I'll have tuba for the time being. And then I had on the keyboards, I had strings. I think it was enough to set up cellos, violin one, violin, viola rather. And in the red keyboard up there, I had I've done winds in the past, but for the time being, let's stick with French horn, which is my favourite instrument to put up there. I could try adding clarinet as well and just see how it goes. Okay. Can't hear the clarinet at all. I'm not sure if it's just because it's in the wrong octave. quiet, as you can hear. Okay, so there's 3 strings in here. Figure out a way that I can see the levels at the same time to make sure that people can hear things. Okay, so that in this view I can see OBS and things. So in this view I can see YouTube. There we go. Should be okay. Right. So I got used to, I'm not sure if there's enough in the bass there, to be honest. It needs more double bass. Yeah, way more. Right, so let's see if everything works. So I had a go with lots of windows open. So it should work if I do that. Yeah, you can hear it. That's good. Right. I don't actually remember which one is the right one. Now I need to remember to turn off the microphone because I remember last time I didn't do that. I'm not hearing any actual. There we go. I don't actually remember which one was the right one. I was having some fun with lots of different ones the other day. Right, let's see what happens. So that one's not enough. Let's try that one. I just want to check that I'm not doing the thing that I think I'm doing. No, I'm not, so that should be fine. I think it's just too quiet on this side, so if I turn that up a bit. Whoops, sorry for your ears. I don't like the this tone. I honest to goodness don't remember which one it was. It was probably around here. It's nice, but it needs some reverb or something. I can never remember what it's called. Nope. Looks a bit quiet on your end, so I might try turning up the volume a little bit. Something like that. That's not the right octave, is it? I might try muting the microphone a little bit. I remember when I was recording the other day, it was too loud. You could hear the... but I need to remember to put it back. Okay, so if I'm correct, this will stop it from going to the stream. So, should be able to hear me again. I was deliberately trying to leave that alone to see if it sounds any better on the stream, which it should. Let's listen back to that. You can hear a lot less of the guitar than I thought you could, because I'm hearing the actual strumming when I'm playing. And of course I did the rookie move of not recording the... oh, that's silly of me. I'm going to do that actually. I'm actually able to record both, right? So I might as well record both, the like unamplified and the amplified tracks. To do that shouldn't be that hard. Oh yeah, of course. How can I be so silly? I just need to copy this, but just get rid of the... Right, okay. So, if I do this, I don't want to monitor this one. And if I literally just turn off the effects, it should just be as simple as that. Okay, let's see. And that doesn't somehow look right to me. Actually fine, it's just clipped. So let's try not unclipping it. I might try doing that actually the input side as well, just turning this down a little bit. See if it makes a difference. I really can't hear that. Yeah, that's not the problem, so... It's quite hard to not... Something like that. Okay, I just heard a Facebook message, you probably also heard it, so it's probably time for Davey to join you. That's interesting. It could be... Let's see what it sounds like to have two effects on, because it might work nicely actually. And now we have Dave joining us. I've just realised that I need to sort out my video, because otherwise... how did this work last time? I don't think I can send my camera to two places. Hey, can you hear me? I can't currently hear you, so I need to sort out why that's happening. So give me one moment, sorry. I have an idea why it might be happening. That's why. Okay, so I'm gonna turn... This needs to go here, here, and here. Wow, crap! Sorry. Give me a second. So A1. Are you hearing like 10 versions of me? I still can't hear you for some reason, so why is that happening? Cable. So. Okay, I got it. So this now should be being picked up by the screen, but I'm still not hearing you. I'm hearing me. Why is that happening? I might just do that. Alright, screw it, that's not going to work. Let's do that. Right, now which one is the correct one? I think it's this one. Okay. Can I hear you now? Nope. Okay, so... I'm really not following why this isn't working. Not at all. Input device, output device. Input device should be the cable. Output device should be... Okay, I think I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Alright, awesome. So, I just need to turn that down a little bit because that was a bit loud. Alright, so I can hear you, I can hear your guitar but I can't hear you, and I need to sort out the picture thing as well. So, nope, I can still hear your guitar, I think. Yeah, I can hear your guitar loudly, so... That's a bit better. Thanks. So, one quick favour. On your side in Discord, I'm going to show you, because can you see my screen on the stream or whatever, or I can just share my screen if not. Okay. Right. So, I'm going to show you something. In the settings menu, I need you to turn something off. Right. All of this stuff. So anything that's like automatically determine input sensitivity, or any noise suppression, or any echo cancelling, any noise reduction, any automatic gain control. If you can turn all of that stuff off, it's under voice and video, because it's gonna like otherwise cut you out. And then I'm gonna sort out the picture problem. So the picture problem.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
All right, good. All right, so I'm on the voice settings page.
All right. Yep.
So you're in input mode.
If you turn all of the stuff that's like noise gain or automatic gain control or noise suppression off, because it's cutting off like your guitar a little bit.
Ah, right, I got you.
It's good for voice, but obviously not for guitar. And I've done the same thing on my side. Maybe turn on the echo cancellation, but you can turn everything else off.
What I'm going to do is, I'll turn the echo cancellation on. I'm going to run, when we're playing, I'm going to run. Right.
Yep.
I'm going to run my Focusrite.
Okay. Is it a problem on my end? Is it like you're hearing me twice? Is that the issue? So I can turn that off if not.
It's just looping when it gets caught, you know.
Okay.
So it's fine. I can't hear myself at all though. On the guitar.
Okay. I mean, if that's the problem, then you can I'll try and work out how to turn it down on my end. So you need to be able to hear your guitar.
Yeah.
I'm just going to solve the picture thing, which is like 1 second. Right. That should now work. Nope. Okay, I'm going to try that again. Okay. And turn off the screen share. Okay, that really should work. So come on, pick up. I'm really not following why that's not working. Oh, I turned it. I was. Oops. Right. Okay. Now it should work. Nope. Still no. Okay. Try again. I've lost Dave. No, where's Dave? Okay, you're back now. Okay, but my camera is still not working, so I still don't really understand why. It literally should not be working. Okay, deactivate and deactivate. Okay, now it really should be working. Hey, there we go. Finally, how's it going? So, can you hear stuff on my end if I play it through? Just want to make sure you can hear. You hearing that?
I can hear you.
Sweet. All right. So I think I've got it solved, and hopefully it's low latency enough that we could do some jamming. So I was playing about with. I don't know if you caught one of my other streams, but let me just sort out the picture thing. There's a pop out. That's the one. Right. Oh,
Can you hear my guitar amplified?
Play it now. No. Yeah, actually a little bit. Yeah, I can hear it a little bit. Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
Is that really loud, is it?
That's all right.
I can't hear it at all.
That's really weird.
On a scale of 1 to terrible, how bad is the sound on it?
Just play it again. Hey, there we go. Finally, how's it going? That's all right. That's all right to me. Can you?
There we go. I can hear it on the. I can hear it on the YouTube.
Yeah. Finally. So, okay, I've got an idea. It's probably a terrible idea. I can pipe you back the sound of your guitar, but you absolutely must wear headphones. You cannot use the speaker as it is. So I could have it so that you hear what I'm hearing from you. No, that's gonna be too late. There's no way.
What's going on now? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, so I'll show you. I'll show you on my screen. Wait, was that right? No, screens. Screen. Yeah. No, not that one. That one. I'm on Windows. I've got this thing. This thing, I can basically route anything from anywhere to anywhere else, right? So if I turn off, I can turn off my anymore. Oh no, that's the one. I can. No, so now you won't be able to hear me. I can put it back on. So I can do the thing where, like, if I play guitar, then I don't know what I've done there. Ah, it's the screen, right? So I can do the thing where if I'm tracking guitar, you won't be able to hear it. Like the raw guitar, you just be able to hear the main guitar through the thing. So I can send you to yourself, but I think that's going to go badly. I think that that's going to like echoing like way more and more latency and things. So I would advise not to do that.
Well, it'll be all right once we got the focus right on. Yeah,
it will, but it's just like you're able to hear me. But we can do the sign language thing as before, or we can have like a what do you want to call it? We can have like a text notepad window at the bottom of the screen or something, and we can just communicate that way.
All right, so what are we going to do then? What are we going to play?
It's up to you. What do you want to play? We can do some.
Let's pick 4 chords.
Pick 4 chords again? Alright, so I'll play you my thing, right? And then you tell me whether you like the idea, and then we can riff off that, alright? How about that?
We got to be able. My idea would be pick 4 chords, do them twice each, and then go back and forth.
Okay.
Right? Just
4 chords.
Make something happen.
Can I do something more complex than 4 chords?
Easy chord. Yeah, 8 chords. But
alright. I'll play my thing, and you tell me whether you like it, and then if it's too complex, then we can change it, right? This is the thing, so I'm playing with my bass pedals as well, right? So you can hear it, right? You can't hear that. Why can't you hear that? I can hear that.
I can hear it. I can hear it.
I
put 12s on my guitar today, and I've got blisters in the last hour.
There we go. There we go. You got blisters? Oh no. Oh crap. Okay, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll play my idea.
Oh yeah, you mean organ pedals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, so I'll play my idea, right? Okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. get the idea. That sort of thing.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Do you want to walk through the
It's
chords?
going to be hard to do anything in time, though, right?
I know. So how do you want to do it then? Do you want to just play those chords with just like 2 bars of each one of them then?
Play the chords as they were.
All right,
What were the chords? It was A
minor, F minor, D minor, and then A minor, F minor, D minor again, and then C major, G minor, D minor, and then those two again.
Major.
And the same game. So the second bit is a C major, G minor, D minor.
C major, D minor, G minor.
G minor, D minor. Yeah.
So I got A minor, F minor, D minor.
Yeah. 2 of those, and then okay, and I can do some like if I change gears a little bit, I can do some synthy stuff.
All right, I'm gonna switch to my thingy,
Sure.
and can you feed that back to me?
This is gonna go badly. Are you sure you want this?
All right, it's all right.
All right, give me a second then. So you are here, and you want to hear you, and this. Got it? No. You should hear that. Why is that not happening? You should hear that. Cable output is U, and that's going to A3, which is cable input. So what's going on there? Why did that happen? So cable. Oh, I get it. So what's the actual output? The actual output. Is voice meter input. So testing. Okay, how about now? Got it? Okay. Right. Viewers, you got to tell us if like it's unbearable in some way. I don't think there's any feedback situations because I'm not hearing any feedback, but you got to tell me. All right. So. Okay. What's up?
But now I can't.
You what?
I could hear it, but now I can't.
Oh, so I haven't changed anything. So A3 is wait. Voice meter. Yeah. Okay. And then it stopped. Yeah. I could hear it for like 30 seconds and it stopped. I can't hear it. So either that's an echo cancellation thing or something else, but I can't hear you. I can hear like you clacking unamplified. Yeah. Can you hear that? I can hear that. Can you hear that? Sweet. All right. Okay, so. Whoops. hold the chords and you vamp over them, yeah? What's up? Oh, you want to go back to that chord? Sorry. Oh, you want me to play it? Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, I got it. Okay. I don't know if I can solo on this instrument. I'll give it a go. So, are you, how distorted are you playing? Because I'm hearing it relatively clean. Is it supposed to be distorted? Okay. Okay, sweet. You definitely turned off all the like echo cancellation and noise suppression and stuff like that. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Can we go for it? Okay. Yeah, sure. All right. I'm changing the chords. The chords are different now. Let's just go where it goes, right? So, some of it isn't on pitch bend. Let me change that. You're still... Okay, it is sweet. I can't hear you, but it still does sound like something is doing gain control or something like that. So I wonder if there's something in Discord that we also need to turn off. It might be on my end.
Let me have a look now.
Sure.
Can I just mute this conversation quickly so we can put it onto the YouTube? I just want to see what the distortion is like.
You want to not be heard, right?
No, just as it is. Just let 2 seconds.
All right.
See what you're saying about the cancellation?
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's happening. There's lots of
Get
places,
this, Sammy. This is one step closer.
but it's better than last time. There's incremental.
It is. I've I did have echo cancellation on it.
I did have echo cancellation.
That's why you had it on though.
I just have to mute myself everything I say.
I'm sorry.
Very hard for me to speak. Let's give it another go. Let's try exactly the same again.
Let's do it. Alright. Not hearing you. Yeah. That's much better. F minor. Okay, fine. Something like
Yeah.
that.
I think that's actually my bad playing of any non-pentatonic scale chord aside.
Did you like my? Just try to wake up. You
Yeah,
thought it was.
you know, the problem is by the time I notice, I'm already like on the note half the time, so I just gotta kind of hope that there's something nearby. I can't do that.
So what I didn't notice, I was like, I was trying to work out why it was I was doing the where was it I was like, why is that such a cool chord sequence? Oh yeah, ba 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 ba. Wait, sorry. Ba 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 ba. Da 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 ba 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 da. I was like, oh, that's a shame. I thought I'd come up with something truly amazing, but someone else has already come up with it.
No such thing as originality.
I know.
You know, Yamaha Pacificas though, they're like my favorite sort of like solid, non-ridiculous guitar.
Yeah,
Alex, we got one over the corner that Alex has one, and I've never in my life played one that was anything other than extremely good.
yeah. All the Yamaha stuff is like that.
They're a bit in vogue at the minute. They're kind of they endorsed this band called Hot Mulligan, and they've got like all shell pink Yamahas. They're kind of like it's kind of like American Cadillac sort of styled. It's weird. Anyway, I think the improv is good. My two suggestions are keep it less metered and get rid of F minor for now. Big M next to F.
No F minor? What?
Say F major, because then I can stay in the key.
Alright, fine. What was the first one? I missed it.
So sparser chords or less metered, right?
What do you mean metered? Oh, I see. Freeform. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as in like no, without the time signature, like open.
Okay. So 1917, yeah.
Yeah, just like honestly, like the openness is what's going to kind of because I don't think you can synchronize as well as you would want it. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think like the the ideal is like being able to play like harmonized Iron Maiden riffs. But I think we're like
I've never tried to play this. Go on, stay in time. What's wrong with you? Oh, I actually don't know either of the lines.
I love that Iron Maiden song. that's the best Maiden song.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
I can't play on this at all today. I put 12s on there about 2 hours ago. And
what was it? Yeah, I saw your post. Is there a reason? Is it you just want to try it out?
Apparently, you get a return on the sound through an amp, right?
Right.
And it does change the sound, no doubt about it.
Do you think it's mainly just the actual weight, or is it resonances, or anything like that?
This plays like 4 times the volumes.
Wow.
It's absurd how loud this is now. It used to be like a guitar I could play on the sofa. Now it's so loud you can hear it over the telly.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice.
So that doesn't say much about my practice routine really, but but it's super loud basically.
That's cool.
But it does change the tone. More importantly, 9s to 10s was like turning the light on.
Really? I didn't realize that'd be that big a difference.
For me, it was just like I can't believe this difference. I did it on my Tom Anderson years ago, and I was just like, this is crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, loads of people swear by 9s, and fair enough. But for me, tens. Tens is my standard, and I put 11s on my Les Paul, and I'm never going to play 12s again. They're just horrendous.
Is it like, I mean, can you do a compromise like lowering the action or something like that? So like, is that part of the problem? Having to press to the same?
Nah. I think like you can have heavier gauge and a lower action.
Okay.
It's usually used to like mitigate a lower tuning, right?
Yeah.
So like maintain string tension as the pitch gets lower. But yeah, it just means that they're like it's like playing a steel strung acoustic basically.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, it's slightly easier. Also, I've blistered my finger today.
Yeah, it's not a nice feeling when it happens.
Slightly dead. But yeah, it's okay. I swear by it. I honestly swear by it. I think the difference through the amplifier is ridiculous. It's like I'm a new instrument.
That's cool, man.
Completely changed. Tens are the compromise though. Speed, but also tone.
I genuinely can't remember very well, but I think I did go up to 11s just on the top string, as in with the rest of the gauge strings staying the same, with the stock slinky ones. But I think it was just because I was going through them I strummed quite hard. I strummed especially hard back then, and yeah, I think I was just going through the tens too quickly.
Yeah, I mean, like that's another reason why I pick it is because I hit it really hard. And I think that like you get, I think in 12s you get less of a return for your energy.
Right.
Like I'm hitting it so hard, and it's actually exhausting.
I was seeing like a video of it's the drummer from Meshuggah, Thomas Hark, and he was doing a cymbal roundup or something like that of different cymbals, and he was using a 24-inch cymbal as a crash, and you could see this guy smashing into it, and the cymbal was moving like the slightest amount. I was like, holy crap, the energy is coming off this cymbal, but nothing is happening at all. And yeah, I was reminded by that for some reason.
I don't know. This is a bit like that. I think as soon as I put the first string of the set of 12s on, I don't know. I was just like,
So I'm surprised. I'm taken aback by like this is I got a fairly decent intermediate range piano, well digital piano stuff. I wanted to learn how to do piano at first. I wasn't sold on just doing the electronic stuff. I got this. My brother was like basically giving away all of his stuff in the UK. He's moved to Germany now. So I took this. And so, this is a regular keyboard, and this is like a proper, like, balanced action, supposed to be feeling like a piano. And it's surprising how different the ideas are on these two instruments. You'd think it's just like, oh, piano key is the piano key, but because you can hit this one, yeah, it's funny. Like, I shouldn't be surprised by these things, but I am. And even now with the foot pedals as well, it's like, I'm writing better bass lines because, well, it's a bass line. Like, that's how it's supposed to be, right?
I think there's this kind of a lot of music making is based around belief without proper evidence or proof.
Yep.
And I think you got to kind of have a bit of faith in it and play along.
Yeah.
And it's like sports people wearing lucky trousers or pants,
or the blue straps on the back that don't do anything. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, right. And like, I don't know. I play really thick plectrums.
Yeah, I've done too.
As I've got. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've changed recently, but I'm also starting to change to play heavier strings. I play heavy guitars. I don't know. I think like as I get older, I've kind of grown out of wanting a technically sound guitar. I want something I can absolutely hammer. And I think that's what I value most, is that kind of exhilaration.
Yeah, I mean, I felt the same way about drums. Timpani is I think perhaps the only percussion instrument that I enjoy playing quietly. All of the other instruments I enjoy playing most when I'm hitting them the hardest. It's just like it kind of makes sense at some level, but it's just funny that it's like that. It's like that. Whereas Timpani, I enjoy playing. I enjoy trying to get the nicest sound out of it. It's like I don't know why it's such a big difference.
I don't know. I think there's like lean into it,
Yeah.
It's with the Les Paul, it's like the nines. It was like, oh, I'm playing really far. I can play really fast, and it's like, oh, I'm not getting that beefy Les Paul tone that I'm hearing on telly when I'm watching other
Right.
people play Les Paul. What's that all about? The pretends on it, and it was like, ah, I see. And I started playing on. I was like, right, oh, what if I put 11s? Then so I'm gonna beef her up even more. And he was like, it was, it did. And this instrument is not a fast guitar. It's like the lacquer on the back is so thick. If I, it slows
Right.
it stops my hand nearly to press on it. And yeah, buying this guitar to play it fast is a stupid idea. It's like a baseball bat. It's nice. It's got its own charm. And like Tom Anderson, you can noodle on that for days. You can shred on that for days. It's got an unvarnished neck and it's got tens on it, and it's totally fine. It's very grown up. This is not that. I think it's a sort of it's a guitar that just wants to be absolutely pummeled. I think.
Yeah. I get the point. It's like you get the same with jazz drum kits versus like rock drum kits and metal drum kits. Like the jazz ones, they can make an amazing sound. Like the jazz one that I played at Downing, can make an amazing sound. It's not supposed to. You're supposed to play it gently. You're supposed to use the accents when you need accents, not like for every hit. And it's like the rock drum ones and metal kits are more like that for that reason. It's like these people kind of know what they're doing in terms of that. But it is that said, it's fun to push things to outside of their comfort zones at times. So there's a great is it Portsmouth Drums? There's a bunch of drum shops in the US that just have absurdly famous YouTube channels because they just do a really good job. And there's one that was like top 10 rides, and they took 5 ride cymbals for jazz drummers and 5 for rock drummers, and played all of them in jazz situations and all of them in rock situations. And they kept saying stuff like, this has no business being played like this. I was like, yeah, but it sounds good, man. What's wrong with this? So this is cool. Like, isn't that fun? Like, and I remember hearing the story about, well, I heard it from a guy who is involved in the Royal Ballet Orchestra, but I'm not certain, or whatever they're called, but I'm not certain what orchestra he was talking about. I think it was some British ones. They were looking to replace their gear, and they went to Sabian and Zildjian, and they're like, oh, here are orchestral cymbals, and they went straight for the ride cymbals, and they were like making their own stuff out of jazz rides, and this sounds cool. Like, they weren't playing the stuff that was supposed to be played. Yeah, they wanted their thing. So whatever floats your boat, I guess.
That's what it is, though. Right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. And the same, it's like a lot of those like musical rules are kind of meant to be broken, and it's like it's a good guideline, but if you take it too seriously, it's a bit, it limits you way too much, and you shouldn't be limited in that sense. It's just,
I'm saying this to a couple of people this week. Like, if you could do anything you wanted on the instrument, what would you do?
mm,
And that goal is like something that a lot of people who are kind of, people who like playing music but didn't do it for a career, but always kept on playing. By about like 35 or 38 or something, we've got a couple of students who can basically do what they want to do on the instrument in perpetuity, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do now. It's like, well, you better think. And when you work that, that's when you kind of get a bit closer to what you want to do in the end of it.
mm.
And leaning into that is then the thing. So like, if you want to hit the guitar really hard and make loud riffs, and maybe thick plectrums, heavy gauge strings, and that's cool for you. You want to shred as fast as possible. Maybe some weird mirrored finished Jackson with 8s, and still a very thick plectrum, but probably something with a bigger point. I don't know.
I think it was my friend Alan that was telling me about. I can't remember the specifics because I've never been able to accomplish one. But pitched harmonics. He was like, if there's a specific plectrum that's easier to do it with, and he used that. I was like, oh my god, it was like this the whole time. I didn't realize it was this easy. I was like, yeah, I get that. There's that equipment thing. I think the thing I was taken aback by was again, I shouldn't be surprised by it, but like the real subtleties in music even in like music that has no business being that intricate, like pop music or something like that, the technique that the guy will use or the way that they'll do it is like absurdly like it takes a lot of effort to do the thing, and it's a really really small thing. I was like, they're using this much technique to make this sound. I can make an almost equivalent sound with so much less technique, but it's not the sound. And it's funny that, right? And it's like the difference between somebody comfortably playing something and somebody like screaming and like playing their absolute maximum, like them at their best is playing the same thing. It's very obvious, and you can't. It's difficult to express in words what that's like. And I've never felt that on any instrument, especially guitar. Guitar is a classical guitar in particular. I was at my limit trying to play an okay, reasonable version of what was going on there. It was not an instrument I would enjoy. Even if I was good at it, I would find it stressful. Try to be like, oh, if I don't push hard enough, I'll get a fret buzz, and I need to do the barre with the little things or whatever else. There's that you know this song, right? The
Oh yeah.
that one, yeah, with the yeah, that's not easy to do. And I have particularly small hands, and that, especially not practiced, is hard. Holy crap!
I think no, the same. I for me, it's electric guitar is like the thing I feel most comfortable with.
Well, drums for me, yeah.
No,
But it's nice
Yeah.
having that option. It's like, oh, I can play the part, or I can do this, or I might want to actually do it this way, or I can play it with 2 feet, but I might want to play it with 1, or I can play it with 1 foot, but I want to play it with 2. It's nice to have those options, and it's like the only instrument I've ever improvised in, because the whole thing is an improvisation. You would never read the music and play it as written, and it's just funny that the entire instrument is being built around this. But I mean, the instrument itself is a very strange instrument that came out of nowhere. It was like, yeah, we don't need 5 percussions to do this. We could have one guy do it. We'll make this contraption, and then that became the traps. And then it's funny that it just ended up that way. And then now it's absurdly like I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to try to do a drum solo of the equivalent of like Thomas Lang, but on 1930s or 1940s era drum kit equipment. You wouldn't be able to do it.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that in like these old the sort of Gibsons with the non-fixed bridges and stuff like that, and you just think like, you know, there's no idea what was around the corner when this instrument was being made, you know. And I often wonder if I kind of like in the cosmic stuff like that now, you know, if there's something that's about to happen that we don't know about yet, that's gonna like
Change it. Yeah.
change it.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
feel
like the double
it's
pedal,
like
the double pedal in drums, like that did not exist. And then someone's like, "Hey, I could have 2 bass drums."
And then Slayer.
Yeah, right.
I tell you what, they were one of the worst bands I've ever seen live. I was gutted, and it was you know, it was rough. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable rough.
I can't work out which concert it was. I think it was Grass Pop 2006 or something. But Dragon Force trying to play Through the Fire and Flames, and it was like, but trying to do everything on the album, which they obviously recorded in multiple takes and sped up and stuff. Like the way they play it these days is reasonable. It's like it's good, but they're not trying to do the which is literally not possible, and it sounded awful. It sounded so bad. Niall as well. Niall are great, but like I've seen Callias. Callias is barely able to play anything to do with Callias live, even triggered and everything like that. You're hearing like he's got the sensitivity dialed up that if he did this, it would be like enough. If he did that, it would be like maximum hit machine gun drum sounds, and he's still missing them. And it's like, if he can't play that, how am I supposed to play that? Yeah.
Trivium were the most disappointing like that when I saw them.
Damn.
They kept messing up Paul Hardin strings and all that, and when I saw Dragon Force as well, I knew they were going to be dodgy when I saw them, and I was like, there's no way on earth that they can do this.
Yeah.
Because it's not that it's hard.
No. Yeah.
It's like it's bluesy, you know.
Yeah.
And it's super fast. The shreddy stuff is alright because you can
do.
repeat that.
See, I'm playing it. Yeah.
Like that
But
what is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that stuff is that's legit, and they can do that. But when it was like
Yeah.
like the like these huge blues runs, it's just like It was just like noodling up and down a scale.
Yeah. Have you
And
seen?
the one who isn't Herman Lee.
Yeah.
To play.
Have you seen Niall Bet You Can't Play This? Have you seen that? You must have seen this.
Yeah, it's awful.
But it's like, I bet you don't want to
You know
play
what?
this. Everyone was saying in the
For
comments.
years, I had a top comment on that video on one of those uploads of that. Saying I couldn't shred a lettuce or something like that. Or couldn't sweep his garden or something like that, you know. Oh, God. I like them more now as an adult.
Yeah.
I think they're very silly, though.
They are, but I mean, it's just, you know what you get, right?
Yeah. I love the idea of like someone out there in the middle of nowhere just went to his friend, let's start an Egypt themed death metal band. Am I gonna make it? That's America, man.
Yeah, I know. So what was the other one that was? Yeah, I told you about my disappointment with Dream Theater, with everything being a Pro Tool session, and like Drum She's not even clicking pedals anymore to change the sounds. It's like, this was so far away from 2007, 8, 9 era where like the whole show could fall off a cliff if Portnoy came in at the wrong tempo, then the unison wouldn't work and all that sort of stuff. And Rudis deliberately trying to like, oh yeah, on the album I have like 8 keyboards, but I have to play them at the same time. So I've got a split here and a split here and another split here and a split here, and I'm gonna do like 8 things at once. And all that's gone now because it's like as soon as you allow it in, oh yeah, we can have overdubs. It's like, oh alright, fine. So then I'll just do this bit. I'll have some fun live.
I just play that bit now.
I'm disappointed. Again, I kind of get it, right? If you're doing that every single night, but and it was clearly a Portnoy thing because as soon as he left, no one is doing that anymore. But I still find that gutting.
John Petrucci is super overrated. I know that's like such a hot take all the time, anyway. But he's good, but like you know that alternate picking stuff wrecks your arms. And you've seen people like Paul Gilbert now. He looks like he's arthritic or something, you know.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he was, because like it's.
Who was telling me
really, really harsh on the body.
So someone was telling me about like the pick efficiency. It used to be that like his wrist would barely even move, and it would just be like that. And then now it's proper like that, trying to get the same. Yeah, and it's like that's completely destroying every tendon. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Absolutely wrecked it. And I mean, now it's like ironically, Angry Malmsteen was regarded as like the wankiest of the shredders, the least technical of the technical, was accidentally doing economy picking a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Which is now the saving grace of many a falling guitarist. I mean, what can you do, right? What can you do? I don't know. I think with some of that Dream Theater stuff, like that constant motion sort of that. Was it?
Yeah. How do we begin?
I can never remember it.
Do you mean
It's something like that, right?
Do you mean Under a Glass Moon?
What's that?
Do you mean Under a Glass Moon? Constant Motion.
No,
I know Constant Motion. That's not right, is it? Yeah.
Constant motion.
Yeah, I know. Do you mean the riff or do you mean the solo?
I mean the solo.
I
spent ages trying to learn the one riff.
And so on and so on. Yeah. Oh, that bit. Yeah.
The alternate picking for that is just like brutal.
Yeah.
For me, that is like the worst, most unergonomic, most physically damaging type of alternate picking. Just that 2 notes per string, really hard.
It's not that interesting a song, to be honest. A solo. And
Solo's good. Solo is good.
You think? I don't know. I don't. The Constant Motion one in particular, I don't like it that much. It just goes on too long, and I don't know. I love the drum part. It's like nothing. I've never heard anything like that. No one would ever come up with that. And then Portnoy's like just.
I wish I could remember this. And it's like it's on the tip of my brain.
Which
I
bit?
remember playing it
The
in-
bit right at the end. I can't. I don't know the notes. I'm trying to hear it from my head, but yeah.
But, what a weird song.
I remember seeing the I can't find it now. The actual lesson bit got taken down, but he did a lesson for the Under a Glass Moon solo, and the lesson was like an hour. It was like basically what you do, right? You start like just like this, yeah. Well, actually, what you're gonna have to do eventually is this.
Yeah, right.
It's easy, right? It's just literally all you do is. It's like it's easy, and it's like that was like 1 second in the song.
It's not physical stuff, it's all that one. That like a.
Yeah.
I gotta plug my Mac in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off as well.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Once I plug this in, should we have another jam?
What's your favourite solo of any band, any person?
Big question. Big question.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, this is at a different point, but just while I remember, me and Audrey caught up a few days ago, and we watched old Blues concerts. I didn't hear the rapping from the Miniball with you doing the Bills rapping. And you say
oh my God.
something about your child.
I was saying that to Stephen the other day. He's doing lots of rap.
Yeah.
I said I'd rap once, but I forgot to learn the rap. And then I remembered on stage, like, honestly though, that was like proper abject fear when I realised it was like literal nightmare territory where I was like, oh my God, I haven't learned it. Here we go.
All these bills are piling up on my desk.
I know, you just, my top tip is speak from the heart, man.
I didn't know you had a child. If that's true, I didn't know you had the child. Congrats on the child.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. For the purposes of this stream, I don't have a child. But, I'm willing to admit that. I don't know, actually. Anyway, but
you have a child. He's called Gibson.
the child is called Death.
Cancel Dave.
Yeah. Cancel Dave. Yeah.
Something outrageous happened in work this week. I'm quitting. I don't care anymore. I won't say specifically what happened, but somebody was like, "Oh yeah, it'd be funny if we start like making our text to speech voices rap," and then they picked something with lots of N words. I was like, "You probably shouldn't do this." Like, yeah, in the general chat, I was like, "That's pretty bad." How did you not see that would be bad?
It just staggers me that people would do stuff like that now.
Yeah.
Even, I don't know, when they used to talk about like, oh, should we put some music on in the workplace? And then there'd always be someone who would like, always someone, when I used to work in factories, there was always someone who had pornography with them. And it was just like, please stop.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm in work and I just literally try to eat my lunch.
That's weird. Yeah, people are weird.
Always in the like that was always like I used to work in the summer. I used to do like the emergency employment type thing, you know. And most people are totally normal, totally fine. It does also, cater to people who find it hard to maintain jobs or find employment through the regular routes. And, it's quite easy to see why sometimes. And I think the things we both discussed are very strong examples of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people just need like general sensitivity training, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like this. Everyone goes, "It's just common sense." It's like,
Yeah.
if it was common sense, the place of work wouldn't have to have a code of conduct. If you have to tell someone that you have to like turn up to work on time,
Wear
if you have to tell
clothes.
someone that, then
Yeah.
it's not common sense that you have to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 minutes early is late to some people.
Yeah.
Half an
See
hour
that?
late is on time to some people. And
The worst thing that can happen is when somebody expects something and they don't say, and then they flip out about the expectation of something. I've had that happen a lot, and it's insane. I never understood it. It's like if you just said something. A case in point. I got criticism that my updates about how the team was doing were too verbose, and I was like, you didn't say. If you'd said, sorry, this is too much detail, I would have taken. You just stopped. You stopped just reading them. That's not the same thing. That's much worse. If you just told me, like, what? What is this? So I never understood stuff like that.
I completely agree. I think it's like I'm sure that is stuff that I still do now that must irritate people.
Yeah.
But like I'm not like I'm not trying to do that.
Right, same. And I'm probably more accommodating than I should be. But if it's something that doesn't bother me, sure. I mean, I don't mind changing that stuff. There's a really stupid example. I don't know if I told you the story. Somebody from Cambridge. Have you ever been to Corpus? Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
The old court, the one with the oval shaped one with the like almost like the rooms are below ground level almost slightly. I was in one of the rooms in the corner with a window facing onto the courtyard ground floor, and it was apparently really grating to one person in particular that I left my curtains open and I had a desk that would look out onto the courtyard. And the fact that they could see me and I could see them, they didn't like this very much. So at night time, they wanted me to close my curtains and I would close them just as I was going to bed. And this guy flipped out about them, was making jokes about this behind my back to the extent of, let's fit some curtains to the outside of the window so that we can close them for him. And then about like 9 months into the year, it was like, Sammy, just close your curtains when you go to do this. I mean, this is weird that this bothers you, but sure. When is it appropriate? It's like, why did you suffer like this? Why did you not say anything? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I agree. When I was at Oxford, this isn't particularly related. I remember once I didn't remember that the window cleaners were coming.
Right.
And it was properly like a moment of, carry on camping or something. Where, like, I was like in my underwear, opened the window cleaner was out there with his brush pipe. I was like, yeah.
I mean, they must have seen everything. The bedders in Oxford and Cambridge must have seen absolutely every combination of everything possible.
I think so. I don't know. With all this workplace stuff, I think that people just don't know. And I think that is the long story. They don't understand that they're doing something grotesquely and almost illegally offensive, if not illegally offensive. And I think that, fired or not, you could do them a big favor just by telling them.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the problem is that I think there's a lack of, especially now. I think this does seem to be a generational thing. There's a lack of willingness to confront people, especially if there's people that you know or that you like, because it's like people would feel that they may lose a friendship over it or something like that. And the issue with that is that you end up with friends not confronting their friends, and then strangers confronting them, and they're even less likely to listen because their expectation would be, why didn't my friend say? If my friend didn't say anything, then there's no problem. I've seen this, and it's hard because it's like, how do you explain that? It's like, I know, but just because nobody's ever told you this doesn't mean that it's not a valid point, and you should maybe consider it, and you should ask your friends, hey, did you notice this thing? Why didn't you say something? It's a hard thing because it's the flip side of the unwillingness to offend. It's like it ended up being more offensive because people aren't calling out people who are being offensive for risk of not wanting to offend them. It's a bit strange. It's gone a bit too far the other way, I feel at times.
I mean, it depends what it is, I guess.
Yeah,
I think
of course.
That, it's. I just think that everything requires context, and some people just don't understand what they're doing is even remotely wrong, and to them it like truly is despite being a very wrong thing to most people, is from a place of innocence. And I think that you've got to kind of make sure that that behaviour is completely stopped. But make sure that
or at least,
like,
at least
this is what I
addressed.
mean by like workplace values and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like you got to say to people, no, we can't say offensive things on the shop floor or something. And it's like, oh well, what's the criteria for offensive? Okay, well, if you look in handbook, it's not a scope. Look in the handbook, page 8. It's going to give you some examples of like, what are protected characteristics under
yeah,
law.
that's my contract. Yeah,
Right? So like, don't make fun of those things. And I think, like the thing I was saying about that guy in the factory with the pornography thing. That was just like one of the strangest experiences of my life. That was, and I remember thinking like, you know, what's going on?
yeah,
Like, what this situation is so strange
yeah,
that something is really out of the ordinary, and you're sort of saying to him like, oh, please don't show me that. Like this is work, and yeah, I don't know. It's not it's my kind of responsibility as a co-worker to have to be confronted with that,
yeah,
let alone to be the person who's changed it. So how do you fix something like that in that situation where you have like a code of conduct prior to beginning the work?
yeah.
Everybody agrees to and everybody understands. Right? Hopefully, I don't know. I do get very frustrated about this sort of thing because I don't believe in things like common sense, or we'll fix that later, or we'll sort that later. Most of the
No, I
time,
agree.
anyway.
I agree.
When I worked in the bookshop years ago, we had this one training session, and the guy running it was like, all of this is common sense. I remember as he was saying it, he was discussing that in reference to a like 25 bullet point code of conduct that was printed and stuck to the wall. I was like, if it really was common sense,
Why is it? Yeah,
you wouldn't have put it yet in like size 80 font and glued it to 6 of the walls in the building. It's like this is obviously not the case.
yeah.
You have to explain it to people.
Yeah, I saw some of this. My supervisor in Cambridge. Like there was a lack of seriousness about health and safety. I don't mean it from the standpoint of like we were doing anything dangerous. It's just much more we could have been safer and we weren't doing it. And I would do stuff, basic stuff like wear a lab coat when mixing chemicals and stuff. And he's like, oh, look at you, Stephen, why are you wearing a lab coat? Why are you wearing a mask and gloves and stuff like that? We're doing procedures that might have some sort of irritation or something like that. And as a result of doing this, and it's just stupid of me in retrospect, I shouldn't have done it, I was doing histology, so it's like staining with very noxious chemical solutions outside of a fume cupboard. And then he was like, why are you doing this outside of a fume cupboard? It's like, who are you to say this? For like 3 years you've been like, it doesn't matter, like this health and safety nonsense. And now you're complaining because it might affect you because it's noxious chemicals, because the fume cupboard was not working or something like that. What is this? It's exactly as you said. It's like it's common sense that this is the thing that you should have done, but the lead up to that point was implying the opposite. So it wasn't common sense. And yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think you can't have a both ways.
You can't, absolutely. But I mean, the flip side is that the irony there, the funny part there was that whenever something went wrong, he would flip out to the degree that nobody would tell him if things had gone wrong. And then 5 years later, we'd find something that was broken, set like 3 PhD students ago. And I was like, you are a control freak. Don't you want people to tell you this stuff? Like, the way to do this is to not be... Even if you're angry, to like just bite your tongue a little bit and be like, sorry, this is not a good thing, but thank you for telling me, and etc. etc. But no, it's like, yeah, it's just people skills, I guess. But I mean, it's still, it's like even if you thought that, it's still silly because it's disincentivized against your, like it works against you, right? You want to know, they're not going to tell you. So
Hold on, I got to run downstairs a sec.
all right, see you in a bit.
Be 5 minutes. Let's have a
No,
quick break. Sorry.
That's fine. I'll do some jamming in the meantime. Where did I put my phone? I need to find that and then. There it is. All right. Right. Back to some jamming. gonna have a go at putting some drums. I love the idea of trying to play it all at the same time. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna give it a go. Oh wait, it always asks me that question. Of course I don't want that. Where are all of these samples? There should be 2 instruments here. I'm a little bit concerned about that. What is going on there? It should be there. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey.
Sorry about that.
That's alright.
Hold on, I forgot myself on mute. There we go. Sorry about that.
How's it going?
Yeah, I have to get the shopping in. And have a quick wee.
I was trying to set up so that I could track drums at the same time as everything else, which is going to go horribly wrong. But I thought I could give it a go. Where did it go? Right, so that should be here. So there we go. Just not really that. I want to get rid of. Did you see the stream where I tried to play drums with the feet? It kind of worked. It was hard, but it kind of worked. Okay.
I'm still impressed with the organ pedals.
You what? Sorry.
I'm impressed you got the organ pedals.
I love it. I mean, the organ. Yeah. So it used to be harp. Money no object, and whatever. If I could get lessons and I could afford it and transport it, harp was the instrument I've always wanted to play, and it's not that anymore. It's organ. Like I love the organ, so I kind of got it kind of there. It's just like it's the not being able to play. Like, I don't have a good example here because I don't have a piano setup, but you play your piano chord, and then by the time you play that, the bass is gone. But the idea that you can hit something and then the bass will stay, I love that. I love that idea. So organ is and honestly it's helped a lot because I can kind of focus on main harmony and then bass with the feet, and it's kind of worked. But the drumming with the feet thing was fun. I don't think I'll try to do it again, but so I was playing where was it? So can never remember where everything is. It's not easy. That was I like the idea of putting the tracking. If I had enough coordination that I could actually play like proper melodies with the, I can try and set up. I think it was 6. Let's see. So let's see. I need to mute pretty much everything. Where is it? Okay. There we go. Right. Except I need that to not be on mute. Surprisingly hard. Not work out which limb to hold. There we go. Where's the bed? There we go. Something like that. It's good fun.
Should we do a jam or something?
Yeah, alright. What do you want to do this time? Do you want to
Let
do
me
some
pick
orchestral
four, let me-
stuff? Do you want to do some orchestral stuff, like guitar and orchestra?
Yeah, but it's got to be a loop of simple chords.
Does it have to be a loop or can it just be freeform? It's up to you.
I don't know. Well, we pick a key.
Okay. F sharp, quarter diminished, 16 add 9.
Yeah, all right. F sharp. All I do is play F sharp minor pentatonic.
Slightly flat E, enough that you have to down tune your guitar.
Don't worry, I play flat anyway. It's a new set of strings, so it's a bit flat anyway.
Oh, that was the thing I was going to pick you up on. I forgot about that. On a classical guitar, the thing about about 2 weeks after you restring it, if you've been playing it regularly, it sort of sings a bit for like a week and a half. Are you subscribed to that? And does the same thing happen on an electric guitar?
I think it's like half an hour after you've restrung it is the best it's going to sound.
Right. Okay.
On an electric. On a classical though, it does need to settle. Playing classical guitar feels like some ancient skill now, you know.
Yeah.
I was learning a bunch of my own pieces, and it was just like it feels very connected to the real world.
Yes.
And I don't know how I feel about that. I think I like electric more. I think there's
I think I feel the same about synthesizer and piano in general. Like, piano has its place, but I never understood the buzz about sonatas and all that sort of stuff. And it's just like, I still don't really get it. Like, I got Hungarian Rhapsody number 6, whatever the famous one from List. Yeah, I got that very quickly. But Mozart 53 in B, I don't care. Like, it doesn't. It's like it's just a bunch of. Why do people like this thing? And I never felt that way about orchestra, and I don't know why. So I expect it's because of that lack of sustain thing. Whereas on the synthesizer, even some of the hooked on classic stuff that I know people detested. There's a guy on YouTube who's doing trance versions of this style. Have you come across this guy? There's some amazing stuff. He's doing trance versions of like Bach Partita in C. It's like it works really well. Anyway, so the point being that I like that stuff. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do feel like just the piano on itself, it never interested me that much. So I can completely see that. The sort of soundscapes that you can create on what Jordan Rudess can do is insane. Like that is more interesting than anything that he could play as a pianist, and he's much better at the piano than he is at this. So,
well, I think like I get the buzz for I didn't get the buzz for some sonatas.
sorry, what was that?
But I did get the buzz for some of the sonatas.
Yeah, some of them, yeah, but not like there are people who's like talking about like random ones, and it's like I don't know. I feel like there's a reason that people like Moonlight Sonata and what's the other one? I can't off the top of my head I can't remember. Even some of the there are some lovely bits, but I never understood the buzz about some of the Rachmaninoff piano concertos as well. Like just they're really long, and there's some good bits. You disagree? You don't like it?
But for yeah.
You dropped that what?
I think they're really good. I think they're really good. There's bits of them that are kind of rough and not right to me. But they're always like, you know, when he's trying to stick a modal melody in it or something like that. I think he's at his best when he's just like doing the big Russian piano thing.
I love Rachmaninoff's symphonies a lot. And Rach 3 has a really interesting piano concerto. But like the ba 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 ba. I'm the cymbal player and I fucking hate that. Sorry, I really hate that bit. It's so boring. Just a bunch of. Where are we? It doesn't add anything. It comes twice in the piece. I don't get it. Like I really don't get it.
For me, it's like the second concerto is the best one for me, and it's a cheesy one, but it is brilliant. I don't know. I'm also someone who, for my 80th birthday, asked for a complete set of recording of Haydn Quartet. So like I am into the kind of listening to someone's output end to end.
Fair enough.
I think there's even with like with Mozart sonatas and stuff like that. I think there's innovative things that happen within his own stylistic kind of setting, and that's definitely the case with Beethoven. And that's kind of what makes Beethoven, especially when you get into the later everything is kind of structurally unusual.
Again, like Beethoven's a great example because I like it. I like a lot of his work. I love Five. I don't enjoy the main movement. I don't enjoy the finale. I think it's boring. It drags on. I don't think it's just. I don't hear it as triumphant. I love the first movement and the third movement are just perfect. The second movement drags on a bit too long, but it's great. But the fourth one, I never understood it. I just don't get the buzz about it compared to the first movement or the third movement. I love it. It's so good.
I think that there's value in all of these things, and if you want to be like the best kind of musician that you can be, you should probably listen to the Beethoven.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
And I think like they're coming under a lot of scrutiny at the moment because of changes in the attitude towards diversity, and I think that's good, and I strongly support it. I don't think he is like an outlandish great that stood atop the tower of classical music. But I do think at the same time he is an excellent composer, but there were many around at the time, and we would do ourselves a disservice to kind of ignore the wealth of music
definitely
across the world historically.
No, I think I don't want it to come across as like I wouldn't listen to these at all. It's just much more. I never understood the level of buzz about some of those things. But yeah, I mean,
I think that's the consensus at the moment. It's like what, and I do agree with that. I don't think that this isn't something that should be when the world is ending we should be piling Beethoven scores into the shuttle.
Yeah.
But I do think that they are very good. A lot of it's very good. And if they're not interesting to listen to, they're at least studied a lot.
Right.
So they are useful to form the basis of a lot of teaching, just because it's what we've used, and it can be used as an even better jumping off point for the wealth of music that's out there.
It's really, pretty much the entire repertoire, especially all the symphonic stuff, is like required reading for timpani. It's like even with just 2 drums, you can get such an interesting sound, and they're really fun parts to play. Really fun. Even the boring timpani solo at the end of the third movement of Beethoven 5, even that, it's still interesting to play. It's hard to play, and it's surprising. And I remember, I think I told you about like 2-page bit about the first 4 bars of the scherzo in 7. It's like, do you play it on 2 tips? Do you play it on 1 tip? All of that stuff is like fascinating. That this level of discussion about this, rather than just play it, which is pretty much what he'd ask for. Just play it how you want to play it.
I think that's like, I don't know, that's the fun of musicianship. I think we're in an age now where interpretation is not assumed, frequently desired. I like being in a space where I can say to someone like, "What do you think is going to sound better?"
Yeah.
I was working with Snapper, this ensemble on a commission recently, And I was just thinking, like, even if I spend the next 10 years studying every one of the instruments that every one of these people is playing, I would never be as good as any one of them. So, what's the point?
Yeah, we had this conversation about like writing a part that's fun, so that the person will want to play it the way that gets the most out of it. And I think that like having that sort of room, not pushing people to 100%, but also not giving somebody a second violin part or something. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Whatever.
Yeah. It's yeah. I think that sort of stuff is important, and like I told you, we can tell like as percussionists, like especially percussionists in general get overlooked, but you can tell when the composer's written something that's like there's some room to do something interesting here, and it wasn't just written here to be here. And I've also played parts. There's a really amazing, interesting canonical almost example of this where Howells, I think it was Howells, there's a piece for brass band which did not have percussion in it, and for the contest they added percussion. So these parts were contrived by definition. They did not exist in the mind of the composer. And there were some parts which really felt like they should be there. The timpani part in particular really felt like it should be there. It was really, really lovely writing. It's a really lovely piece, by the way. There's a funeral procession in the piece called Cortege. That's amazing harmony and beautiful sound. And you could tell that the timpani was added tastefully. And there are other bits where it's like, why is there a triangle here? Is it because there could be? That it doesn't seem like it needs to be here. And I don't think that the triangle player enjoyed playing it. So it's just like it doesn't need to be here. So there was a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, triangles can do rolls. I'll just do a roll here. Does it add, or is it just a thing?
Yeah, I mean that is a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you decide judiciously what should be used in a setting like that? I don't know. I think as well now we're much more used to the sophistication of orchestral writing. You know, like composers have a better chance of writing something really effective from the outside.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember like the sort of issues. Is that the right word? I don't know. That brass banders were having with certain pieces of writing. It was really interesting to see. It was like, you guys are just playing a third apart from each other. That's not hard. Oh, it is. I didn't know how hard that would be. It's like just literally them playing a unison in thirds is hard to keep it in perfect tune. And the entire instrument, at most volumes, except maybe absolutely blowing the hell out of maybe the trombones or something, it sounds like one instrument, like just registers of one instrument, registers of one voice. And it's a really pure sound, so you could tell. Like it sounds like it will be completely off. It does not sound as one entity. It's kind of like an organ in that sense, with stops in an organ. And just orchestral writing is not like that. A lot of it is effect. It's like the trumpet is supposed to stick out, which is actually really interesting. That the entire point of this instrument is to blend, rather than to individually stick out. Unless there is a solo, in which case it still has to blend. It just has to be a bit louder. And it's really, really, truly fascinating to see some of that stuff. And obviously you could not dream that there were that many different types of brass instruments either. Of course there are, but like really, there's a tenor horn? Why?
I grew up in brass bands as a kid, and yeah, I mean they're nuts, right?
Yeah.
The technical standard expected is shockingly high as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they really put to the test a lot. My cornet teacher in college was the principal cornet player for my hometown brass band. He didn't know I was from there, but or he didn't know that I actually played in the junior band for like 6 years.
Right.
And I was trash though. I never practiced, and every time I'd go into his lessons, I always practiced in like some ridiculous lick, or just like half a page of semi-quavers. You know, you just think like, all right. Should we do some playing?
Yeah, sure. All right. So, E minor.
All right.
Oh shit! Sorry, let me transpose.
My device ain't working. What the problem is? Just let it shut off. Right, come on now.
It is irritating how much stuff can go wrong with even like physical audio routing, let alone digital audio routing.
I don't know what the problem is with this focus right there. This usually just does it. I'm going to put in a different USB port and see if that does something with it.
Part of the reason I even built the PC that I built, which is like very much overbuilt for what it needs to do at the moment, is that I couldn't plug in two things into my Mac at the same time. I don't know why. I had two USB like dongle, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't plug in two keyboards. It wouldn't let me. Why? Well, it wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Let me do it. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay. It's being denoised. It's the echo thing. You can't hear you. Okay. I didn't change it from last time. I can hear that. Yeah, I can hear that, but you can't hear it. You right? Okay. One second, I've got something to add to this. Give me a sec. I had it set up on my other one, but not on this one. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. That's too quick. could just keep the tippy only. The really annoying thing about these pedals is that they're, well, I say annoying, it's cool that they are velocity sensitive, but it means that trying to play bass lines is like, unless you like turn off the velocity sensitivity of it, but you have to actually smash the shit out of it to get it.
Yeah, to actually hit it. Right?
Yeah, but you can turn that off. Yeah, I was trying to work out like how can I get the Mars thing going, and it's hard. It's like you have to like if I put one foot on the extreme. It's hard, man. Imagine trying to do that for like 3 minutes or something.
Oh, no, I think this is working much better this week. I think this is
It is.
legitimately like
Fun.
something can be done with this.
Yes. We tried. Me and Alan tried this Beat Connect thing, and it's really written for EDM people because everything's like 4/4, set one tempo at one point in the thing, drag your tracks in and out of this thing, and it kind of worked. But like it kept crashing, and then I would make a change to one of the tracks and it would edit his track, and it's like it's such a shame. Like it had the potential there, and the other problem with like just putting a Reaper project in Dropbox and then opening it is that if two people edit it, it's screwed. So I don't know if there's been like a concurrent proper way of doing it, but at least this time with piping the audio through here using this thing, like the latency's not great, but at least it's not 20 seconds, which is what it would be through live streaming. So this thing really saved everything. This banana thing.
I can almost respond to chord changes as I hear them.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of, I forget how much of this is like genuinely visual.
Yeah.
You know, if someone does a saucy chord and you're stood next to them,
yeah,
they give you a look, right?
Yep.
We are getting the look, but we're getting the look at like
a little bit too late.
The latency. So it's like.
Well, you need to give a look in advance. There must be like a timer button, and then you'll see like a buzzer in this side, and then that's how you know.
Warning.
We were talking about. Actually, I don't think I've told you this story. I was with Cambridge University Percussion Ensemble, CUPE, for the very limited amount of time that was going on. It was kind of comes associated, and we were doing this piece of music. I can't remember. It was quite long. It was like maybe 10, 15 minutes or something. It was really hard. I think one of the main culminations of it was like. Literally, this was so hard to get it done. Like 6 or 7 people just literally doing, and then handing over to another person to do, and just with no conductor because there wasn't anyone to conduct this. Anyway, the point being that you had to be in like that was like P. Like so you had to be in time up until that point, and we were legitimately this close to just having someone hit a gong every time we hit a rehearsal mark. So at least we know A. Okay, now we're at B, and then now we're at C. I was like, yeah, that kind of thing kind of works sometimes, but
that's built into a lot of righteous music, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The Electric Carnival said that the cells when he changes key, the new pitches that are introduced are a subset of the key that we were all in before. So if you mess up,
yeah,
it's not going to be noticeable.
But that's part of the fun. That's part of the point. Was it you who was telling me about this? No, I don't think it was. I think it was performed at Westbury Concert Hall. It wasn't the premiere, but it was a piece for like percussion and glass bottle or something else. It was like a beer bottle, and this guy was doing stick drumming on the beer bottle, and the beer bottle broke halfway through the performance, and he was like, "What do we do now?" It's kind of integral to the performance.
Oh my god! Have you heard Viet Quong's Whiskey Wine? Brandy Brine, I think it's called. Whiskey Wine Brandy Brine. Unbelievable piece of music. As a composer, they are literally one of the best in the world, I would say. They're like absolutely outstanding musicians. V-I-E-T space C-U-O-N-G.
Sorry, 1 second, sorry. I was saying something else. Bitcong? Say again?
V-I-E-T space C-U-O-N-G.
Yeah.
Water, wine, whiskey, brine, something like that.
Let's see. It's not coming up. Are you sure it's B-I-E and not V?
Yes, V.
V. Sorry, I heard B. I was like, what?
V for victory.
I can show you. I can show you what's coming up. What's coming up is not surely not what you're talking about, unless I'm very, very wrong.
I'll show you that. No, I can.
This is what's coming up.
Yeah, definitely not that.
I
mean- Hold on, I'll send you this link now.
sure. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I spelled it right and everything. I'll Facebook it to you now.
All right.
This is the website.
Okay.
Water,
Cool.
wine, something like that. Yeah, every time we searched it, just pull up pictures of.
Viet Quang. I missed the U. That was why.
Oh, here we go. Here's a page.
No, that didn't come up with it. And
Here we go.
okay, got it. Yeah. Thanks.
Phenomenal composer.
I'll check it out.
Phenomenal piece of music. And Sandbox Percussion in people I saw performing. They did a lot of Andy Akiho stuff as well. And yeah, stupid how good that is. They're the two people that I like. If I could write music at the moment, it would be like them, basically.
All right, I'll check it out after the thing.
So
All right. Anyway, what was
I
I
don't
saying
think this is
before
more
that?
practical enough.
You what?
I think this setup is slightly more practical.
Yeah. Where was I going with this? I was about to say something. Rehearsal gong. Crap, I had a story.
Playing in time, hopped in,
Yeah, I know it was.
smashed a bottle.
That's not gonna get it. I'll come to you soon. It'll come to you soon, but.
My God, that
but yeah.
is so heavy.
I think that yeah, it's.
That's right.
I'm not sure like what the other. I wonder like if it's possible to. Because there are fibre lines running throughout the UK, right, internet between cities and stuff. Like it must be possible to tap into those. Because at the moment, to get this thing going, right, there's going to a satellite, it's going to another satellite, and then like literally just like 100 miles away, where it could go rather than going through two satellites. There must be a lower latency way of doing it without some extraordinary cost associated with it. It wouldn't surprise me if like maybe Starlink is the way to go. Maybe if we both get Starlink, 'cause it will work better. I think that until we meet in person. Oh, that was it. Shostakovich 11. And I wish I had a recording of this concert, as in a video recording, let alone an audio one, because I told you it's still the best experience and performance of my life. But it was the. Do you know Shots 11 well? Before the fourth movement starts, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, but right before that, there's the ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da, and the second time that comes around, there's some pizzicato chords that are like the ones right at the end, but not quite the ones right at the end. And I was typically on the left side in my straight concert hall because of the weird layout, and percussion on the other side, and I was next to or behind the trumpets, but we could see each other at times. And he turns around to look at me, and I'm like, just as the bum 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 was going in, it's like I'll never forget that. Like that connection where he was like, "Are we near the thing yet?" It's like, yeah, but just give it a little bit more, and then you'll be there soon. A little bit more. Yeah, I love that sort of stuff.
I don't know. I was around. We played this gig once, me and Steve singing in my band, in my old band, and there was this bit in the song. We must have played that song maybe 150 times at this point. And it was supposed to go like dun dun, and then I played the guitar riff. But the one time we just went dun dun, we just all stopped. We just said to each other, we were like, then we just all came back in on a big call. In the next minute, we were like, saved.
Amazing.
Just got in.
Oh, that's great.
It's, yeah, communication is fun though, I think, and underrated part of playing.
Yeah, I love that like magnetism when everyone is in the zone. and you just know it. It's not something I've had the privilege of experiencing very often. But I remember that feeling where it's like you don't have to guess. You know, like everyone's looking at the conductor, of course, but you didn't need to. Like that feeling of like security, I guess, and safety. To give everything rather than just hold back and be like, am I in time? Am I not in time? Is everything going right? Was everything? Yeah, I've been in those. I've been in gigs like that, like a week apart, in the same sort of context, same sort of music, and it's funny how those sort of things change. And how your mind plays tricks on you. As soon as things start to go wrong, more things will go wrong because you're focusing on the things that could go wrong rather than thinking about the current thing. And it's really hard to de-escalate from that situation. But yeah, it's great when it all goes well. It's just like there's nothing like it. I think I would have had great difficulty making it through the past few months mentally if I hadn't had that one Beethoven 5 concert that I showed you. That really, that's enough for me to ride the high off for months. And it was like a pretty ordinary concert. Like it was good. I enjoyed it, and I'm so pleased that I was able to play Tips again. But yeah, I missed that. I hope that returns soon.
I think there's exceptionally good and exceptionally bad over here. Right?
Yeah.
I think the best concert I ever played at the gig. We did this wine cellar in Brecon. And we were like, this is going to be like Two Men and a Dog. And we turned up and everyone was wasted. Even through the door, it was just like, even we were drunk and coming in. And it was like, everybody was just going nuts. It was fantastic. It was exactly what you want a concert to be. Everybody was just like completely wigging out of control, tiny space. And absolutely off it. Fantastic.
Love it.
And I really miss like being in the audience for those kinds of things or being on the stage for those kinds of things. I think that we're a bit too cool for school these days.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to like enjoying stuff?
Yeah. I think that feeling is, at least in an orchestral context, has been quite hard. I've always been the sort of person that the high came after the concert, it wasn't during the concert. If it went well, please. And it's I don't want to say stress. It's the focus, like it's the mental focus that like prevented me from enjoying it for a long time, and it's still there to some extent, especially if the part is hard. But I had that feeling a little bit when I moved to London with some of the gigs that I was doing. It was like it wasn't it doesn't matter aspect. It was that regardless of what happens, it will be fine. It was that was the kind of shift in mentality that has helped quite a lot. But it's still been quite hard, and it was. I think I told you this that my journey in Cambridge was 6.5 years of elite percussion making in Cums, and realizing that would be fine, but it won't last forever. So I'll consciously step away from this and take more things with less rehearsal. And that was hard because I'm not a guy who wants to walk in unprepared. I hate that feeling in life, let alone in music. Yeah. And I'll tell you about the Sibelius 5 concert I did. It went okay. It wasn't amazing. It was perhaps the smallest audience I've ever had it's QSO, right? It wasn't like a QSO student, but it wasn't like a tiny thing. But I swear there were like 8 people in the audience, and they had the audience lights on for the whole time. You could see the audience. It was really weird. I know, right? In the West Area concert, you can turn them off. Like maybe the guy who turns them off didn't show up. I don't know. Anyway, so it was weird. Yeah. But it was like the end of Sibelius 5. I didn't know how they were going to conduct that because I didn't attend a rehearsal where they did that. I was like, are you going to do ba-da-bum or are you going to do ba-da-bum? Or what are you going to do? And he's like, I'll conduct it like this. I was like, okay, good. I'm glad that we had this conversation 5 minutes before I'm about to go on stage. Thank you for this. It went fine. But I didn't quite get it right. There's a lot. That's a really fast-moving first movement. I love it. It's great. But the end of it is hard for Tips. And I think I was a bar out, so I didn't quite get the... Sibelius has some interesting timpani voicing, and it's not possible to play that. But I refused to try not to play it. I saw, was it I think it was the Now guy. And I like the Now timpanist. But he was just doing no. Beethoven Sibelius wrote you have to at least try to do this, and it's not going to work, but you have to try. Trust him. He knows what he's doing on tips, and it's hard, but it's fun. Sibelius' writing is just great. It's just always in every single timpani part I played of his was amazing, and the violin concerto. Like, why does that have such an amazing timpani part? Ba, ba, ba. It's so good. And of course the...
I think it's like a weird degree of restraint in it, right?
Yeah, I think it is that. Yeah, I think that's what makes it great, is that there's these... Within the confines that he laid out for himself, he was able to, like, maximise what he was able to get out of it. And so you're sticking on, like, one timp a lot of the time, but you're getting this amazing... I don't know. Is it 5?
I think the Fifth Symphony is the
5.
Symphony is the best one, the best symphony ever written.
I love 5. But the scherzo, that's nasty. The repeat where it goes like that's nasty, and it comes straight in right at the beginning. And it's like there's no time to prepare, and you come in and you're out of time for everyone else because you're doing. I was like, how do I play that? That was I did love it though. Yeah, I love it.
The 10th cadence before the big cadence at the end, just before the famous stabby chord.
Yeah.
There's like a passage of music. The cadence into that passage is like a ruse, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's I think that's my favorite bit of my favorite symphony.
I love.
Feels like it's like a real kind of roller coaster. You know?
I love the. I mean, 5 is great, but I love the bit that goes into the ba da 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 ba ba da da da. I honestly, the bit before it is to me middling, but that bit where it goes ba da 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 da, it's like amazing, like just like an enlightening feeling. And after that, it's just it's fast, but it ends really amazingly. I love 7. I absolutely adore 7. And 7 is perhaps, it's not really in C, but it's the only piece in C major-ish that I actually really super enjoy. And I just love the, in the middle of that C major chord, it's like, it's not C.
Oh, at the end, yeah.
No, the whole time, you've got the... I love that's a suspension with the sort of, I guess, C6 or whatever. I love that. Or C9, so he had 9. I love that sound. And he does such a great job of playing out with it, and then immediately just goes into the I love that section is just so great, and every single chord that. Who writes chords like that? That's in the middle of a piece in C major. What is that chord? It's great. I love every second of it, and of course it's got its own timpani solos in it, which I screwed up. I'm so annoyed. Like the timpani part is very short in that symphony, and then it's a and I missed the tie. I was like, that's so annoying. And then in the concert, it was one of the most disappointing concerts I was ever in because the first half went so well and the second half went so badly, and it wasn't even me that screwed up. It was Stephen Cleavery changed the way that he was conducting Belshazzar's Feast, and he said he was going to do one thing, he didn't, and it just threw everyone off. But the first half, I can't remember the context, but the timpani was on an E flat, and I realised about 1 second before the that it's supposed to be an E natural. It was like almost going to be horrifically dissonant and like ridiculously disgusting and out of place. And the ending of that piece is so magical with the the quiet strings, and then there's like these like twists of like happiness and sadness in 3 or 4 bars. That I love it. It's great, and it's like so sad that like that was it. It's like that, and then pretty much it's over. I was like, what really? It disappeared.
I know. I think it's spectacular. I think there's the whole magic of that at the fifth. Everything I love about them is just tied up so perfectly by the end.
Yeah.
And the process of rewriting the fifth and changing the fifth is like fascinating. And he talked about making it more human, which is kind of basically making it less adhere less to standard formal expectations.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, 7 is a complete departure from anything formal, and I love it. It's like what?
I think it's more like it's like hyper personalized interpretation of something that at one time was strict.
Yeah.
And now like it's kind of like that's what kind of makes it magic. I think for people is that there's the feeling that it does adhere to a symphonic form. I don't think it really does. It doesn't feel like to me,
No, it doesn't. I mean,
five certainly doesn't.
Oh no, five is weird. 5 is weird. I love it. It's like it ends in the first movement, and it's to the extent that I think the now recording has people clapping after the first movement because they're like, "Is this the end?"
Should clap after anyway.
I know, yeah, no question. But that's not the point. The best example of like premature clapping I ever heard was Cameron Carpenter. Do you know about him? He's the organist that is somewhat controversial, but I like it. I personally like his interpretation in this play. He did a Toccata and Fugue in D in the Royal Albert Hall, and like used every single stop that the Royal Albert Hall has. The Royal Albert Hall organ has tubular bells, for God's sake. So it's like in the middle of the thing. Anyway, there's a horrifically dissonant chord before the how do I let's describe it? Bum 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 bum. Before that bit near the end, there's a really, really loud dissonant B minor-ish chord, and somebody clapped. Like after he played that, it's like ba da 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 da. It's like that does not sound like the end of any piece. Like no one ends a piece like that, even now. Why on earth did you think that was the end of the piece?
I don't know.
Actually, I think the worst offender. And I get why he did it. The National Orchestra of Wales 11, Shostakovich 11 is great. This is a really lovely recording. I'm glad that they got the church bells. But somebody just yelled, "Bravo!" right after the final hit is like, the king effect thing. No, he's supposed to stay quiet. But it's like, "Bravo!" It's like, but still, it did sound cool.
Daniel Barenboim doing Tristan and Isolde. And like the end of the lead show. And it's like,
yeah,
they've landed and they're consummated, and you can see he's like pouring with sweat, and he's holding the last chord, and the camera's on Barenboim, and you can hear everyone going like that, and you just see as soon as it starts, you just see him wince, and they cut the lights to his face to try and hide it, but it's too late.
Oh dear, yeah.
I must be getting though. Like, give the conductor that after 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
Let him have those extra 2 seconds, Man's a bit of an arse, though, I think, apparently.
I think you get to that level, and it's hard not to be, right?
I don't know. I've met a couple of esteemed people over the years, and all I can say is some are polite, some are not.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think that the ones that were polite, I remember those really fondly. It's like, oh wow, they were so nice. They were, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. They were really nice, and they talked to me, and I love their music, and like, they signed my thing and all this. And then there's the other ones that are kind of like flat out rude, or like really commonly making weird remarks about stuff that just make it really uncomfortable. And those people I kind of think, I can't listen to their music very easily anymore.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. There's a really interesting. This is completely off topic, but it's a bit related. Adam Savage from MythBusters. He did it. There was some talk he was talking about, and he was saying he used to find meet and greets immensely draining until he allowed himself to just accept the adoration in a sense, and like kind of accept that the people wanted to spend as much time as possible with him, and actually be enthusiastic about the conversations and things like that. And it was a really interesting thing that he said, but I don't think it works for everybody. This guy's clearly an extrovert, but I think that he said that those meet and greets used to feel like they take 3 hours for 1 hour, and now they feel like they take 10 minutes for 3 hours. And it's interesting to think that, and I wonder if it's a similar sort of thing. It's like if you close yourself off to the extent that you would treat other people in that way, then it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy because they'll treat you this way, and then it just keeps going.
I don't know. It's not like I'm coming up to these people and being fanboys.
Yeah, well, that's
Sorry, packing my leaves away because I got.
That's all right.
No, it's more like just general common courtesy.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I think it's the point that if anybody ever got to a point where they felt above that, then that immediately becomes like a how do you talk someone down from that? I've seen it. I've seen that. Actually, there was a very interesting part of my PhD where it's like, I mean, me saying that this happened will say it all really. I would be like overly subservient and opening doors like ridiculously far in advance, like running to get the door to open it for my supervisor and things like that. And his comment to me was something like, "Don't do that. People think silly things." I was like, "Yeah, because they're true." Like, I mean, you built this prison. If this makes it look like you're a slave driver, then it is because you're a slave driver. That is a factual statement. What are you expecting? Is that yeah?
I would. I you know, obviously not going to name names.
Yeah.
You know, like there are famous examples of even like you know you see the videos of conductors getting caught on recordings.
Yeah, Buddy Rich is infamous for this. I know he's not a conductor, but like he treated his band awfully.
Yeah, live on TV as well. Have you seen the videos of making them restart live on TV?
I haven't seen the live ones. Holy
Some
crap.
of them he's right. He's still a dickhead.
Yeah.
But and I think that about a lot of people. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. You meet someone who you hold in really high esteem, and they're just rude to you, and you just think, that's really spoiled your music to me. I really liked your music, and now I think silly sausage.
I agree with you. I get it, but I do also find the like complete polar opposite point where people are like, they wrote this song for me, and the lyrics are exactly about me, and then they meet the band as like, hey, we just enjoy writing that song. There's no particular meaning behind it. I love the story about Metropolis Part 2, the Miracle and the Sleeper. Metropolis Part 1, the Miracle and the Sleeper. People have been asking Petrucci, what do these lyrics mean? They're really deep. I was told there'll be no one to count on when I feel like, I made up some cool sounding words, there's no real story. It's like, oh, really? Oh, that's a shame. Where's the law? I thought there was law behind this. And then, I mean, they wrote the part 2, but that was like retroactively adding these things in. But it was like, no, I just picked words that sound interesting. It's like, yeah, it's some fun lyrics to sing, I guess, but...
That's what it is, though. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I haven't got a problem with that.
No, there isn't a problem with that. I find it funny that people read into it to the extent that they did. That's why it was funny.
I just want like a level of general respect afforded.
Hmm.
I don't know. I remember one example of a really esteemed composer giving a talk. He just sat there and he wouldn't give any feedback at all on any of the pieces. And he was like, literally shrugging his shoulders, going, I don't know. And it was like, fair enough, but why did you agree to do this in the first place?
Yeah.
It's like Ligeti with the Takamitsu Award. It's the only one where nobody made it to the final.
Really?
Out of all the entries. Yeah, because he was like, nobody met the standard this year.
Ouch. And
everybody was like, oh god, that's such a smart, hot take. And it's like, not really though, because like, this wasn't like some grand political statement. It just denied people access to education and money for a year. It's like,
yeah.
Like, what, if you thought they were that bad, why didn't you take the full best of all the worst and then like meet them up in person and really, give it to them then, right? because at least they hear the feedback.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. This is a a bit left field, but most peer-reviewed papers are supposed to be reviewed by 2 people, and perhaps what was going to be the most major publication for my thesis got reviewed by 1 person. And there was an amazing comment from him. We think we know who it is, and it's basically the short of it is we think it's this person who was not able to do 30 years more experience than me, was not able to do it. Therefore, how could I possibly have done it? That was essentially it. But we don't know this, of course. It's anonymous. But the comment was, I don't think we need to give it to another person because they won't have this. They won't have a different opinion from me. In a nutshell, I thought, what the hell is this? How could you possibly write these words down and not realize what you were saying was so stupid? You don't think anybody else could have a different opinion?
I don't know why you're going to do stuff like that. I think people make or break a job. I feel like I should give examples of people being really good in things as well.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with that is that the people who do the good job, you work with them, but they don't stick out in the same way that the bad people. It's just a consequence of the way that we look at things, isn't it?
The person I study with at the moment, they're the best tutor I've ever worked with, I think, bar none. So they are brilliant. And I met a really esteemed composer quite recently, and I've written a lot about their music. And they were really polite, and they called me English, right, by my nationality. No problem with that. It happens a lot. And then they sent an apology email saying, I didn't realise you were Welsh. I'm very sorry for calling you English.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was nice. It was very polite anyway, but he made a mistake. He sent an email, and he was like one of my favorite composers. So that was really nice. And I also emailed this really famous composer from the States, saying, "I really like your music. Could I study with you?" And they sent They said no, but they did send an email back saying, "Thank you for asking. That's really flattering. I don't teach anyone, but thank you." And I thought, if that person can do that, why can't
Right. Yeah.
other people?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So then I don't want to be like doom and gloom.
No,
because it's not all doom and gloom. There are people out there who are really not awful. And there are people out there who do really good things in a really good way and set good examples to follow. So it's not all bad. And I don't want to give the impression that it is. And all the grumpy ones were of a particular generation and era. And if you ask 30 people who studied at the university we went to name 5 composers, they'd probably guess half of them. But it's changing now. It is changing. New faculty.
So I'm sorry if it's just generally a generational thing. It's like there is more. So this might change, obviously, the next generations, but there's more competition now. So you can't rest on your laurels. You can't be a certain way because somebody will outcompete you. I know that artists is going to be different in the artistic space than in the professional space, I guess. But you can't be like that because there's 8 people who could take your job. So if you're going to be set in your ways and racist and sexist, if you weren't going to be cancelled anyway for those things, you're going to be cancelled because there's someone better than you. And why would they take somebody who has these negatives?
I partly agree with it. I think it's big beef I have is it's more like the financial barriers, really. I think
yes,
the skill level actually is not irrelevant, but you reach a certain level and I think you can do it. I mean, there's certainly people who are far better than I am who get fewer commissions and stuff like that. So that says to me that it's not necessarily the quality.
No.
It's just placement, luck,
marketing.
Maybe, yeah, but I don't even do that. But knowing a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, networking, yeah.
And money. I would say for years I worked in a bookshop. I teach a lot. And that basically funded the end of my PhD and a string of courses, competitions, which ultimately led to me getting commissions and enough money to stop needing to do some of those jobs.
And then spend more time on
Yeah,
the stuff, and then spend more time on this stuff, right? Which would get you more stuff. It's going to
but
be
never
a
stop
virtuous cycle,
teaching.
right?
I think that the one of the biggest changes to happen as well is that needs to happen is this idea that if you don't if you how do I phrase this? Don't start being a composer by only composing and making all your money composing straight out of university. You know, like you gotta build it up. Nobody goes into the BBC Symphony Orchestra's sort of reception desk and says, "I'm here for my £25,000 a year commission." You know, maybe some people do get lucky with commissions. Obviously, like there's a couple, but like super rare.
But even if they did, it's going to be that thing, like as you said, like the first time you work with them is that's when you really learn all of the stuff. And if that's the highest profile thing you've ever done, it's going to be difficult to like undo the bad damage to your reputation if you don't have that feedback loop from something. I guess in retrospect, relatively inconsequential.
I think it is all about the talent development programs. I think them becoming managed increasingly well, but there is the space to. It's not like a space to make mistakes. It's like a space to work towards what you actually think would be good, and navigate the difficulties that might be confronted during that. Rather than thinking like, how do I make a band with a big chord? It's like, how do I bring my concept to life using an orchestra? And I think that way around is actually good. And then you don't spend all your life grappling with the basics. You start applying the basics to some of your work, maybe, but you really begin to grapple with the thing you care about from the outset. Because like at max, you're going to get maybe 3 of these opportunities with an orchestra, and yeah, the first one is all right if it goes. The second one, when you want to get that goal. And yeah, I think that it's not necessarily about the space to fail. It's about it genuinely is about the space to develop properly.
Yeah.
And if you've been in the job 40 years, you'll forget that at one point you didn't know the lowest note in the flute.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean that's endemic here too. It's the funny part about the HR usually HR influenced requirements for jobs like 10 years experience doing data science is that the thing that I'm doing now did not exist 10 years ago. So if you get somebody who has 10 years of experience, firstly it'll be the wrong experience, and secondly they'll have had to convert their wrong thing into data science, and they'll be worse than somebody who has less experience because they don't have this baggage that they have to undo. And they don't have this belief that I have 10 years in it. How could I be wrong? Even if they're well-meaning, there's some of that, and I've seen that. It's funny. There's like people being overly you must know the specific terminology, or like your idea must be scientifically sound. It's like, no, this is a research space. It can be, you can have discussions about things that don't sound rigorously scientific because it will foster discussion that will go that way. And you can read the papers that you will need to read to inform that idea later, but you need to have a good intuition about these things. That's more important than any of this other stuff. You don't only develop that from talking. And if you feel so stifled in talking because you don't know the right word, or you're going to be called on not knowing the right word, people won't talk. And it's I've seen this so many times, destroying this thing. And it all happens. It happens right from the top. It's like if you have somebody so senior that you feel like you can't talk to them, or they give that impression, then you won't. It's a recipe for disaster. And I can see the same thing I can see where that would happen in your place as well.
I think so. But I do also think there's a lot of there's a lot of generous people out there who are willing to give the time. I think that attitude of calmness and kindness and a genuine desire to help people improve, I think it is winning out.
That's good.
And that makes me feel good about the future. And on that bombshell,
One very
I'm
last
going to
one
choose
very last thing. Are you seeing work picking
it.
back up? Is things looking better now? I know it didn't go so
Me?
horribly for you over the past few months, but is it getting better now?
Yeah, yeah. It's actually, can't talk about it on this stream. But a couple of things picking up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Some
Keep
signs of
forgetting that the
normality.
stream actually goes on YouTube.
Oh, awesome.
I forget. I can't remember. I can't remember certain things. Yeah. So it's all right.
Sweet. All the best
And
then.
yeah. And I paid off my last bit of credit card debt last week.
Hey, that's awesome. Congrats, man.
So I am now a debt-free man, kind of. As long as we don't talk about student debt, mortgages, uh, that's pretend debt. Enormous pretend debt.
Yes, inescapable, enormous pretend debt.
Yeah, right. And,
The student
I wanna
loan thing,
think about that now.
I don't get that at all. Well, I do get it, but the fact that you can't escape it is the same in the US with bankruptcy. It's like, sorry, you still have debt. But what? I thought the point of bankruptcy was that you can't pay anything. Like, what is this? I don't know.
Yeah. When do I get away from it? It's like,
Yeah,
never.
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm alright with it. I'm paying £200 less a month in credit card.
Yeah, great.
I was like, my PhD wrecked me. But I entered some composition competitions, got lucky, and now I've got a Gibson Les Paul and no credit card debt. So everything's coming up roses.
Yeah, I ended my KC with absolutely zero, and I earned a very small amount, like a couple of £100 over doing some concerts and things, and like, even including the extra funding that some very generous grant bodies were giving for like contingency funding for going over. Even with all of that, I still overshot and had to ask for bailout from Bank of Mum and Dad and things, but I had absolutely zero. Pretty much 3 years ago to this day, when I got my first job. And yeah, it's been thankfully looking a lot better since. Yeah, that was it's pretty shocking to think about it in retrospect. And if I'd gone the science route, it would have been so much worse. It's sad to think about that, to be honest. I did feel like I was pushed out rather than leaving voluntarily, but having looked at what's happened since, I don't think I made the wrong decision.
I don't think you did. That's
All
good.
right, dude.
I think real world is good.
Real world is good. I hope we can meet in person
See you
soon.
soon,
Like
Alex.
it's looking like it maybe is kind of slight possibility-ish. But anyway,
Yeah. Come on. I come down towards you, or you got here.
whatever works.
And we'll do some real life jamming.
It'll be sweet.
And it'll be good. Come on. I'll see
All
you
right.
soon,
Yeah. Good
Alex.
evening, mate. See you around. Thanks for joining me. See you. Bye.
No problem.
And with that, I think I'm also spent, so I think I'm ending. Good night.